Welcome to all. Recently, you might have heard about Vigilance Awareness Week, and its, you can say, motto or mission slogan was given: say no to corruption, commit to the nation. Let's come to this point. If you have to give a speech anywhere in English or eloquent or participate in debate or group discussion, so I will be discussing few of the points which might be helpful for you while discussing it for the upcoming sessions you are going to attend. So kindly listen it will be helpful. Coming to the point that from where does this corruption originates? Very broad scenario or scene is seen when someone is caught red-handed, or when income tax raid at places and get a huge amount of money or resources. But it is not only, the corruption is not limited to that part. Or you might have heard that few personals take bribe. Corruption is not that limited to that much only. Corruption starts from the childhood. It originates after the birth, and corruption does not applies to only the government officials or offices. They are very much you can say that polluted places. It is not so. They are defamed, but this real scene is much poor. As you can see, the corruption originates from the home, from the school, from the office, from the road through which you pass, from the hospital, and each and every place from where you pass. And very truly speaking, corruption is not outside but inside ourselves. So if we want to curb the practice, if we want to stop this, if we want to counter it, any action which is going to be taken outside will be much less effective unless it is not undertaken within. I mean to say, there is a sense of incompleteness, imperfection. From there, corruption begins. A person having a sense that I am lacking something, from there the corruption begins. There are lines should be drawn between what is necessity and what is greed. It is very much clear that every human being requires some space, requires some resources, requires some money, food, shelter. But after a certain limit, that is all nuisance. It is of no use. It is only the thing of mind. Firstly, we think, we create such type of a space that something incomplete is having in me. I am lacking something. And from there, the corruption begins. So if we want to counter that, we need to look within us, that where is that sense of incompleteness. And very truly speaking, that incompleteness cannot be fulfilled by any outer resource. It can be only stopped, it can be only countered by looking within. By looking within, what does it mean? By opening the body parts and seeing it in? No, it is not so. By looking within means watching the behavior of your mind, how your mind gives the reasons, how your mind thinks, what your perceptions are regarding the resources, regarding money, regarding fame, and all other things associated. So if we want to curb that, we definitely need to look at our thought, look how we are preaching to the society and what we are grasping from it and what we are giving to it. It is not so that corruption just seen in adults, just seen in big offices, in officers or politicians or other ways. It starts from the very childhood. So if we want to curb that, we need to work upon it since childhood. We need to put it in our education system. The moral values, moreover, stories, and also how to keep our mind clean. Because you can say that it is fortunate and unfortunate that human consciousness is much more different from the animals, and that is its beauty. Its beauty is that it can rise and it can fall. But the consciousness of animals, plants are more or less fixed. It has some tendency and it goes with the flow. But human mind is not so. Corruption is in the mind. From where does this corruption starts? Corruption means pollution. If you are polluting your mind, if your mind is not clean, then the corruption starts. No matters how small is it, no matters from where it is being practiced, to whom it is practiced. Corruption not only harm other, but it initially and from the very first primary phase, it harms the person himself. But the person look outside. He thinks, I'm gathering such huge resources amount that will be helping in latter stages of life, or to his relatives, or to the person associated with him. But it is not so. The sense of incompleteness cannot be fulfilled by any outer resource. It can be only filled by looking your thought process and purifying it. If you are not able to purify your mind, if you are not able to purify your consciousness level, then you can't curb the corruption. Just by taking the pledges and just by merry speeches, sessions, it can't be curbed, it can't be countered. We need to purify our mind, and it can't be done in one day or 1 week or 1 month. It needs a prolonged time. It needs much effort, because you might have seen or known that diluting, polluting the environment is very easy, but cleaning requires effort. Cleaning requires much patience and discipline. So, to counter this corruption, we need to work upon our mind, thought process. Talking about the development of the nation, it can't be done without sticking to the heart of it. I mean to say, without committing, how will that commitment come? It is that commit to the nation. But how? Because nation is not something which is very much concrete thing that I will be taking care of it 24 into 7 under surveillance, under CCTV camera. So committing to that, it is not like that. So we need to understand how we can commit, and that can be done merely with our state of mind. If we don't know that are we disciplined, what we have got from this motherland, what we need to pay against it, we can't commit to it. So we need to understand that what we have got from it, and if we even give our life for this motherland, that will be even less. So vigilance is not only at outer level. Outer vigilance is mandatory, but inner vigilance is equally important. Without that, we can't stick to that. Few more points I would like to add regarding that. We might have seen corruption. In corruption, people gather a lot of money, a lot of other wealth for their children, grandchildren, relatives, and associated people. But that is of no use, literally of no use. Because for whom are you gathering? If the people for whom you are gathering are self-suffice, then they don't need that much of resources. And if they are also polluted, the amount which will be gathered for them will not suffice. You might have heard a slogan or proverb that the earth has enough to fulfill a person's need, but it doesn't have enough to fulfill the greed of a person. So enough resources are there. If you know what is your necessity, where to stop, definitely corruption can be curbed, it can be stopped. But if you don't know where to stop, what is your requirement, then corruption can't stop. So we need to practice, we need to see our mind, what our mind says, and we can also move to different philosophies. Without that, we will be sticking to our narrow consciousness, our narrow thoughts, and we will be giving reason for our thought, and the corruption will be going on. So to purify our mind, we need to go to different philosophies. Also, we can refer to great saint and leaders. Moreover, many a times religious books, spiritual books, and practicing them in our daily life, that can also help. Also, our children need to be taken care of, because what they are today, their extended version will be seen tomorrow. So if they will be well prepared today, a very good can be seen tomorrow. I hope that these points will be helpful for you. I would like to summarize all those points. First one was regarding that corruption is not which is seen after much later. It starts from the every part of our life. So if we start to work upon that, it will be much better to curb the corruption. Second one is the sense of incompleteness, that we are imperfect and gathering something will make us perfect. Third one was that raising the level of our consciousness, purifying our mind and the sources. Fourth one, for whom do we gather? For whom do we store? So I hope that all these 4 to 5 points will be helpful, and adding these points to the session or discussion can boost the taste to the listeners, and they will be appreciating. Thanks.